Hello folks, welcome to Girl Talk. We are here, kind of colorful actually for once, right?
Looking like fall.
Looking like fall, very exciting stuff. You may not recognize this set, or you just may if you have been in Odana Antiques lately. We are so excited to be here.
It's our first time, this
It
is
is
so
our
fun.
first time actually filming in this store, although we have all been here many a times shopping. But we are so excited. We've gotten to talk to Miss Sue many times over the course of our last season, and now we are actually going to be filming here, and it's just such a fun treat.
It is.
In her own environment.
I know, in her element, yes. And it's just beautiful. If you haven't been, they have these just gorgeous vignettes as you walk through the store of all different styles. We're already seeing some holiday things up, and it is just inspiring. I love it.
It's almost a trip down memory lane too when you walk through. It's, oh, I remember this from Grandma's house, or oh, my dad ptold me about this, played with this when he was a boy, or
Isn't that fun?
maybe I remember
Feels
this
very
when I was a
nostalgic.
kid.
No, I don't believe that for a minute. But later in the show, we're going to be talking to Miss Sue about some wonderful things, and I'm so excited and looking forward to it.
There's always something new, always something fun and exciting, so I
true.
can't wait to hear it.
Merchandise is constantly coming in and coming out, so
She's got 10,000 square feet here in this store, so
incredible.
Enormous.
So make sure you have
Very
time,
distracted
and as
right now.
Janet says, make sure you bring a friend so you can ooh and ah and show them all these great
share the
things.
experience.
You do.
Spend the
You
whole
need to.
afternoon here, definitely.
Absolutely.
It's a great place for gifts and things too, as you're starting to think holiday. We're also going to be talking to, for our very first time, Dr. Kyle from All About Chiropractic. We are so excited for Dr. Bailey. We want to say hello because she's at home with her brand new baby.
1 week old today.
Oh, I know. It's incredible. 1 week, and she's just beautiful. So Dr. Kyle is going to be joining us and giving us all of his tips for chiropractic care, and they're just great. So I'm excited for that too.
Me
Sure.
too.
A little discussion maybe about back pain. Who hasn't at some point in their life had some back pain or neck pain? And
It's very universal, definitely.
Yeah.
We all sit a little straighter during those segments. I see Elise is already posturing up. So
Just so this is normal.
yeah, yes. So that's going to be fun. And after the break, actually, our very first discussion is going to be about wellness. Our friend from Tim, friend Tim from Apple Wellness, we caught up with him earlier, and he is always just a ball of energy. So
Oh, yes.
lots of great
ball of
tips.
energy and plethora of information.
True.
He can give both of which to you.
Yeah, it's all very contagious, isn't it?
Yes, I know we talk a little faster and we're moving.
I
And
leave energized and more informed, so it's a win.
Yes. So all exciting things. He has a new baby too. Oh my gosh, there's so many new little ones in our Girl Talk lives.
Yes.
So we'll have to have a little baby gathering one of these days.
Speaking of babies, how's Primley?
She's great. She's amazing. She's 6 months.
6 months already.
I know it went too fast.
Now, someone told me she was actually getting cuter, and I didn't think it was possible.
Yeah,
So
every day she actually gets. In fact, when I drop her off at daycare in the morning, by the time I pick her up, she's even cuter.
which means you must take another picture.
Not that I'm biased. Yes. So thanks for asking, though. Yeah, she's wonderful.
We can't leave your little one out of this
No,
conversation.
no, of course not. But we have a great show. Looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. We're going to be right back after the break with our friend Tim from Apple Wellness. So please stick around.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. Our discussion turns to inflammation right now with Tim O'Brien of Apple Wellness. We know that inflammation is a natural part of our body's immune system, but like so many things, too much can be a bad thing. In fact, chronic inflammation is now known to be the root cause of many diseases, including cancer. So welcome, Tim. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming in and talking about chronic inflammation and
Absolutely.
maybe a good solution for it.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about it, because this is a real big thing in the medical community right now.
Yeah, most people wouldn't know it, but the root of disease is inflammation. The root of pain, inflammation. Cognitive issues like dementia, Alzheimer's, heart disease, diabetes. It's inflammation related. Wow. So as
So many
inflammation's on the
things.
increase, all those risks go up as well. Yeah, absolutely. So when we move forward, anti-inflammatory foods, for example, it just what we eat can either increase or decrease inflammation. Supplements that we take can either increase or decrease inflammation. Yeah.
Such a big topic right now.
And this is kind of a silent thing that, we think of inflammation as you get an injury and then you have a swollen wrist or some redness.
This is like internal, correct?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, yep, yeah, it's just not always swelling. People are like, well, I don't feel like I have any inflammation, but it can just be, I'm doing pretty good,
Like a hidden killer.
For real, yeah.
So you were talking about food and supplements. What can you recommend for us?
Yeah, so the most powerful, or if not number one in the top few, most powerful anti-inflammatories on the planet is curcumin, which is the active ingredient from the Indian spice turmeric. It's what colors curry. Okay. And that is being found to be the most powerful anti-inflammatory that cleanses your whole system of inflammation on a daily basis.
And we've kind of picked your brain about curcumin before. I still have to come get on curcumin. I mean, you've started doing this, right, Janet?
I have. Yeah. I have concerns in my family history of rheumatoid arthritis and dementia.
Sure.
And so I thought this would be a good preemptive strike. There's a lot of research actually that's backing this.
And I was wondering that, like, is this sort of a trend kind of thing, or is this like here to stay? Is this supplement really important and you think it's got the longevity?
Yeah, great question, because different nutrients kind of will take the spotlight for a few years and maybe even more of a marketing thing and then sort of die off. Well, Ajay Ogul from Baylor University, we're talking about years and years, 23 human clinical trials, and there's literally thousands of human clinical trials worldwide on curcumin as the most powerful anti-inflammatory. And they're finding that the delivery system is everything. And so you can get curcumin in different forms. You can have it in the turmeric, the spice form, the extract curcumin, or even something further called the BCM95 curcumin, and absorption's everything. And so we're actually going to show a graph on the TV of the different types of absorption. And so if you get the active ingredient out called curcuminoids and blend it with turmeric essential oils, you'll absorb it up to 40% better. And so that's why they're using this to even treat cancers and disease as a whole.
I always wonder that about absorption, kind of steered another direction, but that's a really good point, because a lot of times we're taking all these supplements and are they doing any good? Are they getting to our bodies, or are we just, basically flushing the money down the toilet? And I think that's a lot of the concern. So it's really important that, and nice that you have that information about how to best actually utilize the supplements.
Absolutely, delivery system is everything. So to answer the question, it is not a trend. This is here to stay and actually finding its way into the medical community. Very exciting.
Wow.
So you mentioned BCM95?
Yeah,
okay. So if you go to any natural or health food store, you're going to see different types of turmeric and curcumin in there.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you're saying there's just this one that's been proven effective in all these studies.
Yeah, and in many of these studies, they keep using that BCM. Baylor University, for example, keeps using that BCM95 form because it absorbs the best. And we'll hopefully show another graph too that shows that it's actually 200 to 500 times more absorbent than turmeric, the spice it comes from, and 10 times the absorption from a standard curcumin extract. So yeah, the form is everything, the delivery system is everything.
We're almost out of time. So talk about your pricing real quick.
Oh yeah, so everyone's kind of selling something, and so what we did at Apple Wellness is we just have a price match guarantee now, where we always want to be the best price. So if you ever find a better one, you can kind of just let us know. And for me, that makes me feel safe when I can go into a store. Target's doing that now, for example. It's like, yes, where I just can feel that piece about getting the best price. So.
That's nice to know that. So we can still come to you if by chance we see a better price, you'll give it to us, and we appreciate
that.
That
includes online too.
And I want to mention real quick
pricing,
before we go, Tim, you always do such a great job of answering our questions. So for folks at home, email myself and ask Tim your questions. We'll ask him on air. So you can email me, jessa@cw57.tv, and we'll make sure and ask him. Tim, the expert from Apple Wellness. Thanks.
Thanks, Tim. We'll be right back with Madison Geeks talking about technology. Welcome back to Girl Talk. We're filming here on site at Odana Antiques, right on Odana Road. And lucky us, later on, in a few minutes, we'll chat with the owner, Sue Duncan, about what's in store and maybe give us some gift ideas for the holiday season. But next we turn our discussion to chiropractic, helping back pain, headaches, things like that. And with us we have Dr. Kyle Nye from All About Chiropractic. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
We're so glad to have you.
Sure.
Thank you.
So I can think of a lot of reasons why someone might benefit or go see a chiropractor. What do you think is the number one reason people come to see you?
When most people think about chiropractic, they probably think about neck pain, they think about back pain, they think about headaches. So those three would probably be the most common reasons that somebody would think about going in to see us at our clinic.
Okay.
So you mentioned lower back pain. Could you tell me what some of the causes of that might be?
The majority of people with their jobs today, we do a lot of sitting. And as you guys know, sitting, for the research being done on sitting 8+ hours a day, causes a lot of wear and tear on the body, not only on the low back because of the amount of pressure that's put on the discs, but as well with the neck, and a lot of stuff is being tied into posture-related things.
Sure, because not only are we sitting, but we're sitting in sometimes like a hunched posture or not
looking
always
at our
looking the
devices.
way.
That's the hard thing, I think, a lot of it too. Your screen isn't always level with your sight, so you tend to hunch over a little bit. So how can chiropractic care help with this issue?
The biggest thing with somebody who sits all day long is they're developing bad habits. And so over time, and they may not realize it for the first 6 months to a year that they're developing those bad habits, but as their body starts to slowly pull forward, you know, the weight of their head is pulling forward, which is going to start to cause breakdown of the discs and the joints within their neck themselves. Because the head is pulling forward, your head is about 10 to 15 pounds now. For every half an inch it pulls forward, it gains 10 pounds of pressure.
Wow.
So similar, if you guys were to ever go bowling, if you hold the ball close to your body, it's really easy. But if
Right.
you hold it out here, it's a lot heavier. The concept when we're sitting at a desk and by the end of the day I'm out here like this, my head could be 40 or 50 pounds, which is going to cause a lot of unequal wearing within the joints within the neck. But then that translates to the low back. For every inch it comes forward, you gain 100 pounds of pressure on the discs in your low back.
Oh my God, I had no idea it was
That's
that
incredible.
astounding.
I think when this is our first time with Dr. Kyle, but every time we have Dr. Bailey on, I think we all sort of sit up a little straighter during these segments because we're thinking about it. But it's interesting how incredible that just a little bit of change in posture can add so much pressure.
And over time, it's going to slowly, you know, they probably won't have issues initially, but if you're sitting there for 8+ hours for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, the body's going to slowly start to break down just because of gravity itself. And the only way to undo that is to start getting the structures back where they need to be, which is going to take pressure off of those nerves.
Right, okay, interesting.
Boy, I can think of so many things that you need the education, and starting younger would be great too, because we develop these habits, and habits can be so hard to break.
Yes.
And then of course visiting with you. What would you specifically do for someone with headaches?
First thing with some of the headaches, it can be a really mean machine. So depending on if it's male or female, female are going to have could have more hormone-related headaches. And so there's a lot of things to check off. The first thing that I always ask somebody is how much water do you drink? Because the number one symptom of dehydration is a headache. And so if somebody's they're drinking coffee, pop, things like that, and they're not actually getting just strictly water in their body could just be dehydrated.
Sure.
So that would be the first step. Now, if it's a female, we always try to figure out if it's around the cycles, okay, because they can trigger when those hormones are changing within the body. But the area of the neck that we first look at is the very top bone of the neck, and it's the same reason with kids. You mentioned starting earlier, like our little one that was just born last Thursday, she was adjusted within the first 10 minutes of life.
Wow, that's incredible.
And the trauma of having a baby in itself on the baby is a lot of pressure on the skull. And most kids suffer with ear infections, colds, you know, common immune system type things like that. And so by getting her adjusted as soon as she was born, it's going to allow her nervous system to function and be free and not have pressure put on those nerves.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
Sure
I
is.
enjoy that. It's incredible how many things are associated with chiropractic care. I mean, when you think about it, it makes sense to hear you explain it so nicely. But it's incredible.
It really is. I also love that you mentioned that within 10 minutes of being born, you went ahead and did the adjustment, because it's just so interesting that this can really help you get off to such a great start in life, and
Yeah.
just so healthy from that, you know, keeping up with this practice from there on out.
A great tip for new parents out there, too.
Yeah, that is really interesting. We're actually running out of time, Dr. Kyle. I think that we could probably continue this discussion another time, maybe talking more about headaches and
Absolutely.
what we can do, those couple solutions, water and, oh gosh, I already forgot the other one.
Water, exercise, and getting it checked.
Yes, there we go. Thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you again. We'll be right back with Sue Duncan from Odana Antiques. You're watching Girl Talk on CW57.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. As we have promised you, we will bring you Miss Sue Duncan from Modana Antiques, and we've been filming here, and thank you so much for hosting us.
Thank you for coming.
So greatly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Lots of fun. So now we finally get to chat with you about what's new. We've all had our eyes on certain things, but I think one of our favorite things about talking to you is finding out what's brand new, because there's always new things coming in.
There are always new things coming in daily, and it's amazing. If I'm not here in 2 or 3 days, I find that I miss a lot of the really good stuff because it goes out as quickly as it comes in. Yeah. But our holiday open house is coming up December 4th, 5th, and 6th, and we will have items on sale, which always helps with Christmas shopping.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
we are just getting ready to transition from fall into winter. Behind you is fall, and hopefully next time you see us, we'll be in the throes of, well, not hopefully, we gotta be warm, but we'll be in the throes of winter in here. So it'll be fun.
That's so exciting. So December 4th, 5th, and 6th, I think that's a perfect time. That's when I'm not a Black Friday shopper. That's when I really start getting into the holiday shopping mode. So that's really good timing, I think.
I think so too. I mean, we just can't compete with the big box stores for, 70% off sales. So you do it the antique version way.
So what are the what are the current hot sellers right now?
Jewelry, always good.
Always
still
jewelry,
good. As you can see behind me, multi-pane windows, printers boxes are still hot, ladders are still good.
What's a printer's box?
Those odd boxes back there with little cubby holes in them. And people will buy very small items and put in the box. And oftentimes people will display their thimble collections or their little animal collections. For kids, it's a great place to put rocks if you collect rocks. So.
And that's a repurposed item.
No, it came that way.
Oh, you called it a printer's box?
Right. There would be drawers full of little typeset print that would go in it, and for making, a newspaper or something like that.
Back in the day.
Back in the day,
interesting.
right. So
And
yes, in that sense, it's repurposed. Yeah.
Everything has a story to it too. That's what's so fun.
That's what makes it fun. Yeah.
And I think people are surprised. Well, I was surprised when I first came in and first started talking to you that jewelry was such a big part of what you do here, because I don't think people always think about jewelry when you think about Modana Antiques. So I think that's a really kind of point to stop on.
And there's so much here.
Yeah.
Oh, there is.
There's so much jewelry here. It's just fantastic. With the holidays coming up, do you have any suggestions for great gifts?
Yes. Okay, we'll start with jewelry, of course. And we have stuff for guys too. Cufflinks are great. There's tie tacks. So there are things for men too, rings. Then we move into blankets. We've got a ton of blankets, some nice old Pendletons. Some very nice throws, so you can curl up on a warm or cold winter's night by a warm fireplace.
And you know what's great is that you can come in here and say, Sue, I need this, and you can take them there, because I did just get lost when I went walking around.
And she pretty much knows where everything is, although it happens fast. But
Well, and if I don't, Amy does.
somebody does.
Our manager does, right?
I love it. That's a great idea. I like the Pendleton blanket idea. What a fun classic thing to give, and it really is. They try and recreate those older styles, and you actually have the older styles here. I think that's so much fun.
And Badger memorabilia. I mean, where would we be in Wisconsin without, Badger memorabilia?
Yeah. Let's talk for folks who aren't sure about what to get. When do you think a gift certificate is a good idea?
I think gift certificates get a bad rap because people think if you give one, you don't care. But if you're buying an expensive piece, particularly if it's artwork or art related, it's really an individual decision, and so it's very easy to give the wrong item. And what we recommend doing is giving a gift card, but perhaps take pictures of the items you were thinking about giving them and show them, this is what I would have picked for you. Now let's go and spend an afternoon together. I'll come with you, let's have lunch. And you can go spend your gift card on what you like. I had a woman whose husband collected clocks. She bought him a clock, and he was furious because he had very high standards. She didn't understand those standards, and we ended up trying to help him find a clock that he liked better, which we don't normally do. So if you're giving a gift for a serious collector, give them a gift card and then come with them and help them pick out something that they love.
And what a fun day.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that's a great idea, and even more personal when you're spending time together to pick something out.
Yeah, I like
And what a fun idea, even if you were giving a gift card for maybe any other store too. I love the idea of taking pictures of, well, this is what I would have gotten for you.
And then they can say, oh, I'm so glad you didn't. I can't stand that. That was horrible, but I love this.
Thanks for not buying
Thanks
that
for not
buying
buying
this
that.
gift card. I think that's great.
Let's talk a little bit about tradition and gift giving. What are some ideas you can offer as maybe gift giving traditions people can start to?
Well, we've had two interesting ones come up, and the first is I've had a number of grandparents who came in and bought ornaments for their grandkids. And they told me they bought a different ornament each year, and that way when the child turned 18 or 19 and left home, they would have like a starter kit for their first Christmas tree in their first apartment.
Absolutely.
And that seemed like a neat idea.
Someone did that for me as a kid, and I absolutely love it now. And it's so nice because every single ornament on my tree has like a story and a meaning behind it. You know, it's really, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, but it's nice. I love that idea.
And the other is cookie cutters. Come in and pick out cookie cutters with smaller children. You can make individualized pizzas that are in a particular shape. You can make cookies. You can make pancakes. And then they can hang the ornaments on their tree. One customer told me they actually have a tree for their children and their animals. They just get a very, smaller version, and that's the animal tree, and they can put their little unique cookie cutters on the animal tree.
So you just gave me so many ideas.
I know, that's so fun.
It's fantastic.
Let's talk about unusual items. Is there a specific unusual item? There's
we
always
got like
something
4.
good. Yeah.
We have feather trees, which I think you'll see a picture of later, that are actually made out of feathers. They're Victorian, and they look like small Christmas trees, but they are in fact made out of feathers. We have a wild boar's head. We have a canoe that's been converted into a coffee table.
Oh wait, a canoe that's been converted into a coffee table.
With a paddle and other canoeing accessories inside it. And then we have a carved bucky who's about 4 feet tall. So we can cover the gamut of sporting goods.
No kidding.
That was really fun when I was walking around. I was trying to pick out, like, what's Sue going to talk about today for the most unusual
trying to
item?
guess.
Yeah, but it's so big. There's so much cool stuff in here.
Yeah.
Okay,
But you can't miss a boar head.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did that.
And what were you saying earlier? This is not your grandma's old dusty antique store?
No, this is not walnut and
Not
lace.
at all.
Not at all.
absolutely. If you don't think you're an antique shopper, this is a great place to shop because you're going to find something you love, believe it or not.
Change your mind.
Yeah, it's very true. Well, Sue, thank you so much for having us. It's been just a lovely time. I think we've all enjoyed it greatly.
Thank you.
And we'll be back. So thanks for sharing.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Check out Odana Antiques right here on Odana Road. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you to all of our guests. Thanks so much for watching. Please join us next time for Girl Talk.